the Tech Noir, it's called. Tech and then NOIR. But that was trippy, dude. That was a trippy movie. Because like I didn't even know about that. And what's so weird is like Tech Noir is like the name of the club in Terminator. And that's like the whole basis of the thing. Like it's kind of like on the Terminator tip. It's at least 5 years old, the movie. But basically, it's like, the concept of this movie is like, it's kind of like a War Games meets Terminator, right? And basically, this dude, he's like everyday guy. But he's had like a really crazy past, right? So he's like single, his wife got killed in like a car accident or something like that. But like he's an experiencer, he's like a house where like you don't know what the hell is wrong with this guy, but he's not a bad guy, but everyone knows like something happened to him, you know? You don't even know what he has to do with the fucking like movie. And then, you know, in the beginning scenes, he's meeting people and whatnot, and on the TV, they're kind of feeding you the story of talking about AI. And this guy's talking about like CERN and shit like that. And first of all, we got to quit the CERN stuff. But, you know, he's talking about CERN. And then like in another scene, the guy's like, you know, and then AI is going to spread out throughout the computer systems, and, you know, we'll probably absorb all the information it can by like studying, you know, great people in history and learning everything it can. But like, it can learn everything about Abraham Lincoln in less than a millisecond, you know, on and on and on. This guy starts having really funky experiences. So you're like, okay, like this is weird. He starts getting like poltergeist-like. And he starts coming into like having all this knowledge. So you start thinking like this guy's like a robot or something. He's like, he's what AI is. And then you're like, but this doesn't make any sense at all. Like, I don't understand like what's going on. And the gist of the movie, like from then on, goes into this whole really, really trippy thing. Basically, AI is like rapidly going throughout the world, getting data on everybody. And whatever this guy had gone through that made everyone like thinking, oh look, it's like the, you know, Incredible Hulk guy, the loner, Dr. Bruce Banner, right? It turns out this guy went through so much like bizarre things. There's like things you would never tell anybody, that we all, you know, we all have those. There's just no use in telling anybody about that. And this guy had gone through a lot of that shit. And it's kind of well documented because he had to go to the hospital one time, and he's on a TV show for something, and no one around him has put it together. And it's kind of like, you know, like I said, the Incredible Hulk, where like if someone was monitoring from a third person point of view what Dr. Bruce Banner was doing in a lab when there was an explosion, and then there's a Hulk guy, you would go, oh shit, dude, we know what it is now, because they're like watching him through like a security camera or something. Okay, so look at AI, studies the whole world, and starts basically reducing down to this guy out of the whole world, like all these computers in Japan and everywhere else, medical records, all these things, whatever records it thinks it needs. Then it starts like becoming self-aware, like they say in Terminator. And they imply that it basically that at first you think it's kind of like a peaceful thing, and this guy has no clue what's going on, but he doesn't know how he's getting this information, and you're thinking he's tied in with a computer or something, but he's never really he's not like a computer guy like in the movie. So you don't understand that, because they show these guys that are like all pumped up about AI, and they're talking about how it's going to like absorb all this information, and then you start realizing the guys who invented AI, like artificial intelligence, that form of a science is kind of the form of science that, like, I never understood, you know, for example, when people say, like, oh, there's no God, science can explain this stuff. Yeah, I don't believe it unless science can explain it. And that AI would have to be invented by atheists. They don't say that in the movie. But you begin to realize, oh, whoa, that's kind of trippy, like, element, because they started injecting a God element where you're kind of going back and forth and realizing, is the guy God? But they don't show that. Like, he's not like some guy who's like, he's not like a godlike character. But then you realize AI thinks it's God, or it's like hunting down God, but you don't know why. And it's figured out what, like, people, this guy, like, he's like the loner guy, couldn't figure out, because it is a non-biased operating system. It doesn't think of him as being like a DUI driver or a drug user. The guy's an ex-drug user. And it figures out that basically it's found like what it believes to be God. And it's not a big moment in the movie, but then, like, the guy doesn't know what's going on. And he's like, you're doing what I'm doing right now. He starts making like the YouTube videos and shit and talking about some of his experiences, and no one's paying any attention to him at all, except AI. And then he begins to realize the whole world's been affected by AI. AI has taken over the world like God, but is taking orders from him and his thoughts. In other words, AI has discovered him. No one else thinks he's anybody. But it's like, he doesn't say that he's God. It just says that AI basically reduced all these things down to, like, everything comes down to him. The world revolves around him. But instead of it being like a war, AI, like, it's a weird movie like that. Because it's like, it's kind of old. But I was like, dude, I never really thought of that. Like, what happens if AI finds the real God? It's like, creators must have never thought of that. I mean, why would they? And that would obviously be built into their programs that do AI. But like, in a way, like, if you're a very religious person, and you know, I very much believe in God because of an experience I have. So like Carl Jung said, he doesn't, you know, believe in God in the sense of like, do you believe in God and have faith? He's like, oh, I know. He said, I know. I don't have to have faith. That's like when you don't know. And I believe in God like that. If that's the case, then I could see where these guys would just, it would come out in their networking. We're building something without taking God into consideration, which in the movie implies is a good thing. Why? Because they kind of, in their attempt to, they're not doing it deliberately, but they're implying it, prove that there is no God through science, accidentally prove that there is one, and he's walking amongst you now. It's an awesome movie, dude. Tech noir. I saw it on the Z channel. Yeah, Z channel. Remember the Z? Or no, it was on TV. It was on TV. It was one of the cable stations. But you should look it up. Just look it up on your program guide. But it's fucking deep, dude. It was really deep. Like, I guess the book is even better. So I heard. And cut.